Hello students, this is Ejas's Maths Academy Nagpur and I am Ansar sir. In today's lecture we will show that metallic oxides are basic in nature and non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Non-metallic oxides behave like acids and metallic oxides behave like bases. Let us see, these are the reactions which we have to balance and write, and these reactions will prove this reaction 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 reactions will prove that metallic oxides behave like bases. Let us see. There can be no doubt about it that hydrochloric acid is an acid. Okay. So Na2O is sodium oxide, and why it is Na2O, why not NaO? Because we know Na is singly positive, sodium atom donates 1 electron to form sodium ion, and oxygen accepts 2 electrons. When we will study periodic classification of elements chapter, there we will see that sodium has atomic number 11 and its electronic configuration is 281. So it needs 7 more electrons to complete its octet, and 7 electrons cannot be taken, cannot be gained. That's why it will donate 1 electron, and hence the outermost orbit will have 8 electrons. So to complete its octet, it donates 1 electron. Sodium donates 1 electron. That's why sodium has only 1 positive charge on it, and oxygen has atomic number 8. Its electronic configuration is 2 6 according to the formula 2n square. Its configuration is 2 6. It needs 2 more electrons to complete the octet, but sodium can give only 1 electron. One sodium atom can give 1 electron to it, so it requires 2 sodium atoms to give 2 electrons to it. One sodium atom will give 1 electron and the other sodium atom also will give 1 electron. Okay, I hope you understood why sodium oxide is Na2O, why not NaO. Sodium has valency 1 and oxygen has valency 2. So now see, we will put 2 here, and that will make 2 hydrogen and 2 chlorine. Since there are Na2, 2 atoms of sodium, we need 2 atoms of chlorine to form 2 NaCl. And since you have already studied chapter number 1, chemical reactions and equations, you know these things very well. So Na2O plus 2HCl will give 2 NaCl plus H2O. And what is this? Water. And this is a salt. Sodium chloride is a salt. Whatever name ends in IDE or ATE is generally a salt. So it is sodium chloride salt. And we have studied in previous class, whenever an acid reacts with a base, it forms salt and water. So here see, this is acid, no doubt. This is salt, no doubt. NaCl is a salt. H2O is water. So acid, salt, water, it must be a base. Because we have studied that whenever a base reacts with an acid, it forms salt and water. So it means it must be a base. And this is the proof that metallic oxides, sodium is a metal and oxygen, metallic oxides behave like bases. So metallic oxides, it is written in chapter number, it is written in metals and non-metals also on page number 52. Metals, metallic oxides are basic in nature and non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So here again another example, MgO, magnesium oxide. Magnesium is a metal, magnesium oxide is a metallic oxide, and it is reacting with hydrochloric acid. So again this is acid. Let us see what it will form. Mg, so it should be 2HCl here. Why? Because we know valency of magnesium is 2, Mg is always 2 positive and oxygen was 2 negative. H should be H plus Cl minus, H plus Cl minus. So one magnesium will require 2 chlorine atoms, so it will be MgCl2 plus, what is left? O, and these 2 H, so it will form H2O. And this was sodium chloride, it is magnesium chloride, this is uncommon salt. NaCl was common salt, MgCl2 is uncommon salt, but it is salt, and H2O is water. So what is it? Acid plus MgO gives salt and water. So how is it behaving? MgO is behaving like a base, because we have studied whenever an acid reacts with a base, it forms salt and water. So here it is a base, it will react with acid to form salt and water. I am erasing this. So it is acid. The third reaction, similar, copper oxide. This reaction is given in the next activity. So we will cover it here itself. CuO is copper oxide, copper 2 oxide, and this is HCl. So here since it is Cu2 plus and O2 minus, and we have H plus and Cl minus. You know chlorine accepts 1 electron to make Cl 1 negative, but copper wants to donate 2 electrons. Copper is 2 positive. So when copper is giving 2 electrons, chlorine also, there must be 2 chlorine atoms, 2 chlorine ions. So it will become like this. You know how to balance a chemical reaction. So Cu2 plus O2 minus will be H plus Cl minus, H plus Cl minus. We will take 2 molecules of HCl and it will be CuCl2. The product will be CuCl2 and it is a blue colored salt. No, greenish blue or bluish green. Let us write blue only. Blue salt plus H2O. This is water, H2O. So here we have balanced this reaction also. So copper is a metal and copper oxide is a metallic oxide. What happens when metallic oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid? Instead of HCl, even if we take H2SO4, the product will be CuSO4 plus H2O. But it will always form a salt and water. So copper oxide plus acid gives salt and water. It means copper oxide is behaving like a base. All these reactions prove that copper oxide, magnesium oxide, sodium oxide, metallic oxides are basic in nature. This is calcium oxide. Again the same thing. It will become 2 and here it will be calcium chloride plus H2O. Calcium chloride, ide is salt and H2O is no doubt water. So salt plus water and hydrochloric acid is an acid. So calcium oxide also is behaving like a base. Okay. So it is, all metallic oxides behave like bases except zinc oxide and aluminum oxide. I will explain, they are amphoteric in nature. So we derive a conclusion that metallic oxides are basic in nature. That's why the heading is reaction of metallic oxides with acids. Why are they reacting metallic oxides with acids? Because metallic oxides are bases. So reaction of bases with acids, metallic oxides are bases. Okay, and here reaction of non-metallic oxide with base, because non-metallic oxides behave like acids. Non-metallic oxides behave like acids. See, we have studied this reaction in chapter number 1 also and in chapter number 2 also. We have means you have studied this in chapter number 1 also. Carbon dioxide, what happens when carbon dioxide is passed over freshly prepared lime water? So this is calcium hydroxide, a base. Since it has OH, it is a base. There can be no doubt about it. So it is a base. Calcium carbonate, NaTe, nate means it is a salt. Calcium carbonate is a salt and this is water. And what is this? Carbon is a non-metal. So it is a non-metallic oxide. Non-metallic oxide. And what is it behaving like? This non-metallic oxide is behaving like an acid. Like an acid, because acid plus base give salt plus water. So here it is behaving like non-metallic oxide, carbon dioxide is behaving like acid. And you know, aerated drinks, Thumbs Up, Pepsi, Coca-Cola contain CO2. They contain carbon dioxide gas. And because of this carbon dioxide gas, the pH of Thumbs Up, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, such aerated drinks have pH of nearly 2.5. Harpic has pH 2.5 and Thumbs Up, Pepsi, Coca-Cola also have pH 2.5. So instead of Harpic, we can use Thumbs Up, Pepsi, Coca-Cola to clean the commode. So that is it. Now, what about aluminium oxide, Al2O3 and zinc oxide? Zinc oxide are amphoteric in nature. They are amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric in nature. What does this mean? Aluminium oxide is metal oxide. And we know metal oxide should behave like bases. Zinc is a metal, zinc oxide is metallic oxide, it also should behave like bases. But these two are exceptional cases. They can behave like acids as well as bases. When they react with an acid, they behave like base. So we will write it down. When these two, when Al2O3, aluminum oxide and zinc oxide react with an acid, they behave like bases and form salt and water. When we can write when each of these two, when each of aluminum oxide or zinc oxide reacts with a base, reacts with an acid, it behaves like a base. It behaves like a base and forms salt and water. And when either Al2O3 or ZNO reacts with, what did we write first? React with acid. Now here we will write react with a base. It behaves like an acid and forms salt and water. Hence, we can say Al2O3 or ZNO can behave like an acid or a base in different conditions. Hence they are called amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric, what is the meaning of the word ampho? Amphi means both. You have studied amphibious animals in the 9th standard. Amphibious animals. So amphoteric, ampho means both. Amphoteric oxides. So these are amphoteric oxides. Okay. I can give reactions to prove that aluminum oxide can behave like a base as well as an acid. But such reaction is not given in our textbook. So it should not cause an extra burden on you. You can pause the video and note down this. I can give a reaction to prove it, that aluminum oxide can behave like a base as well as an acid. But you will say, oh sir, we are studying so many reactions already. That's why I am in confusion whether I should give that reaction or not. Let me give the reaction. See, this is Al2O3 aluminum oxide plus HCl. We know this is acid. And do you know how to balance chemical reactions? Aluminum is 2, so Al is 2. Al is 3 positive. Do you know why? Because aluminum has atomic number 13. Its configuration is 283. It has 3 electrons in the outermost orbit. To complete the octet, it needs 5 more electrons. And it cannot gain 5 electrons because maximum 3 electrons can be donated and maximum 3 electrons can be accepted. So what will happen? It cannot, so it will donate its 3 electrons. It will donate its 3 electrons. If it donates those 3 electrons, then there will be only 2 orbits. First orbit will have 2 electrons and the second orbit will have 8 electrons. And the second orbit will become the outermost orbit. Its octet will be completed as per the octet rule that we have studied. So aluminum always donates 3 electrons. And oxygen, there are 3 atoms. One oxygen is 2 negative, you know why? Oxygen has atomic number 8, its configuration is 2 and 6. So one oxygen always requires 2 electrons to complete the octet, to complete 8 electrons here. So one oxygen can take 2 electrons. So it has taken 2 electrons, it has taken 2 electrons, it has taken 2 electrons. 6 electrons are taken and these two have given 6 electrons. Okay. And here it is H plus Cl minus. Now how to balance? We will write 6. I know, so I am writing it directly without wasting time. Don't try to write 3HCl. If you write 3HCl, it will not be balanced. Now see, H2O, 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 and this is AlCl3, AlCl3. 3 positive, 3 negative, 3 positive, 3 negative. So it will form 2 times AlCl3 plus 3H2O. This is water, no doubt, and its name is aluminium chloride salt, aluminium chloride salt, and this is hydrochloric acid. So how is it behaving? Like a base. See, metallic oxide, aluminium is a metal, metallic oxides behave like bases, so it is behaving like a base here. Why? Because it is reacting with acid. Now see its reaction with a base. Al2O3 plus 2NaOH. I am writing a balanced equation directly. So it will form 2NaAlO2, which is called sodium aluminate salt. If you can remember, then remember it. Otherwise, forget it. There is no need to remember it. And here will be H2O. This is water. This is salt. And there is no doubt that NaOH is a base because it contains OH. So here it is behaving like an acid. See, so Al2O3 when reacts with a base acts like an acid. When it reacts with an acid, it behaves like a base to form salt and water. Here also salt and water, here also salt and water. So here it is behaving like a base, here it is behaving like an acid. And this salt is called sodium aluminate salt. NaAlO2, NaLO2, NaLO, N-double-A, Na-L-O-Lo, NaLO2. So this is how the reaction takes place. I hope you will remember it. So we will pause here, we will stop here, we will make short videos, okay, so that there should not be any burden on you. In the next class, okay, we can deal with one question, then we will call it a day. After that we will see what do all acids and bases have in common. Do acids and bases conduct electricity or not? So I am erasing it from here. We were about to discuss a question in the very first class, but I forgot. We will discuss that. Suppose you are given 3 test tubes. You are given 3 test tubes. So one contains water. What is that question? See, the question is given in our textbook on page number 18. You have been provided with 3 test tubes. One of them contains distilled water, the other 2 contain an acidic solution and a basic solution. If you are given only red litmus paper, using only red litmus paper, we are given only red litmus paper. This is red litmus paper. Red litmus paper. We are given only red litmus paper and we have to find out one of them is distilled water. They have written distilled water because impure water is not neutral. Distilled water and acidic solution, and one is basic solution. How can we identify which test tube contains acidic solution which test tube contains basic solution and which contains distilled water. So we will do one thing, we will divide this red litmus paper into three parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3. And we will put each part in one test tube each. Part 1 we will dip here, part 2 will be dipped here in this solution, part 3 will be dipped in this solution. There are solutions here. Otherwise you will say empty test tubes are shown. See, so we will dip one strip of paper, red litmus paper in test tube number 1, second will be dipped in 2, third will be dipped in 3. So what will happen? 1, 2, 3. Out of these three strips of litmus paper, one will turn blue. And if suppose the first strip turns blue, it means that we will dip 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. And what happened here in 1? Red litmus turned blue. We divided it into 3 strips and we dipped each strip into it. 1, 2, and this was the third strip, 3. Third strip. So here red litmus paper turned blue. It means it must be a base, because we know in a base red litmus turns blue, and here no change, and here also was no change. Now what we will do? We have identified one thing. Now we will take this red litmus turned blue. Now it has become a strip of blue litmus paper. Are you following my explanation? We are given 3 test tubes. One contains distilled water, the other contains acidic solution, and the last one contains basic solution. And we are given only one strip of red litmus paper, only red litmus paper. So we will cut this red litmus paper into 3 strips, 3 parts, and dip them. First part will be dipped into it, second part will be dipped here, third part will be dipped here. Okay, let us suppose the first part in the first test tube, red litmus paper turns blue. It means it must be a base, because we know red litmus becomes blue in a base. So, and in these 2 test tubes, we dipped the red litmus paper and there was no change. What we will do? Now we will take this blue litmus paper and we will dip this blue litmus paper in these 2 test tubes. And if the blue litmus paper turns red in suppose second test tube, then it must be an acid, because blue litmus paper has turned red, it must be acid, and this one is a test tube containing distilled water. So this is the activity. I hope you understood it. Have a nice day, enjoy your studies and work hard.